In the summer of 1945, 5 visionary women, led by Maddie Wattis Harris, determined there was a need to provide support for women in the community of Ogden. Women were struggling with post-World War II issues, single parenting, grief and loss, marginalization, and lack of job skills. Along with Maddie, Alfred Hendrickson, Lou Carroll, Mrs. J.G. Murdoch, and Evelyn Dobbs met in Ogden's Carnegie Library and established the very first YWCA of Ogden, with goals to empower and promote leadership and rights of women and girls. It was a transitional time for women all over the country, and by 1948, Maddie Wattis Harris had purchased the building housing the organization, thus ensuring the future of the YWCA. For the next 30 years, the YWCA offered residential housing and education programs for young women and mothers. By the late 70s, programming had evolved to host the 24-hour crisis line, the creation of the Women's Crisis Center, and short-term emergency housing for victims of domestic violence and their children. That generated a need for the Child Care Center, now nurturing 50 children from both the shelter and the community daily. By the late 80s, amid political differences as well as the role of men in the organization, the national YWCA and the Ogden branch parted ways. The Ogden Center became Your Community Connection, and with this change, men were included in board and staff roles and as clients. Shortly after, the YCC Family Crisis Center was established. The current YCC now resides on land purchased by Susan Eccles Dankers, thus allowing for much-needed growth. Along with the Dankers, numerous influential partners in the Ogden-Weber area have invested in YCC over the years with expansion and renovation projects, funding efforts to expand programming and services, and ensuring critical services are available to those in need.
My husband and I were able to get into a home when we were 19 years old because of a federal program at the time in the early 70s. And so we got a hand up here at the YCC, not a handout. And so I wanted to come back and serve, and I still am, and I plan to continue as long as I possibly can to continue serving the YCC. And I just want to thank them for what they did for me 49 years ago.
Now in this 75th year of healing families, saving and changing lives, YCC hosts a comprehensive set of services, including sexual and domestic violence assistance centers, housing assistance, childcare, and the education and outreach programs in both Spanish and English. The partnerships with key organizations, city and county governments, and individuals keep YCC at the forefront, leading the way forward to independence and healthy relationships for individuals of all ages.
You know, I'm incredibly lucky that I'm able to give to the YCC. As I got into the business community and I was asked to be on the board, I thought, wow, well, that'd be cool to kind of be on the YCC board. But I knew that the beds we had a huge waiting list, and my husband and I just said, why don't we just donate the whole thing and help them build a wing on? And it touched my heart to be able to do that, to be able to think that I've helped somebody else.
My favorite thing about this place is seeing the hope in someone's eyes. They come in looking downtrodden, devastated, scared, very anxious, and hopeless. And just after one meeting with them, you see them leave with a brightness in their eyes. Their whole countenance changes because they finally found a place, they found the right place where they're going to get help, they're going to find hope, and they have a brightness in their future.
We want to see safe and healthy families in Utah, and in order to do that, we have to help people get out of bad and abusive ones.
It doesn't have to get to this horrendous point where everything falls apart for you to want things to be different.
I had been living through a 33-year-long abusive marriage. After I was able to come here to the YCC, the very first thing was safety and love and acceptance.
Here at YCC, I am finally safe.
If we can help people see what they're worth, then they make decisions that are good for them. Our number one goal, of course, is to keep people safe. But right along with number one, keep people safe, my goal is to help them see what they're worth.
Once I started having more self-worth for myself, the more that I found that people treat me really well.
It was always really shocking to me because the classes were full to have so many people with one very similar experience.
There were so many other women in the class, and we'd all just shake our heads. And then I didn't feel so alone anymore, because I thought, these women are all going through what I'm going through.
I have valid feelings even if other people don't get it. And I have the right to feel safe where I am.
I would like everybody to take a step back and realize that the lives that you have affected, and then the ripple effect that that one person has on multiple different people. There's probably millions of people that have been affected by YCC, and it will continue.
I am a survivor, and I am brave, something I never thought I was. I felt I lost everything that was important to me, but I kept going, and I am safe now. I'm in a better place, and I'm glad to be on this side.
I'm grateful for YCC. I'm grateful for the safety they gave me when I needed it. I'm grateful for the resources I needed. I'm grateful that they didn't say, I'll do this for you and I'll do that for you. They didn't do that. They gave me the resources and said, okay, you can do it.
It's okay to respect themselves. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to have a voice. That's one thing that they haven't had, most of them for many, many years. This is where they find their voice.